by offering a metal roof, you are differentiating yourself. You are going above and beyond being a shingle slinger, and you are venturing into a world that a lot of roofers are too intimidated to get into.
As a roofing materials distributor, we partner with great manufacturers that have great expertise. And you, by being our customer, what we do is we allow you access to that expertise. Today we are with Chris, and we are talking to roofing contractors that have been perhaps successful, really successful with asphalt shingles, but want to also diversify their product line so that they can have more opportunities than they did before. And in this case, Chris is an expert in metal roof panels and just everything having to do with metal, and that's where we source our metal panels from. Chris is on today to talk to you guys to demystify the whole concept of metal roofing. Not only is he an expert on what he does, but he also does a great job of explaining. Chris, take it away, my friend.
Well, thank you very much, Hira. I really appreciate this time to talk to you and to this audience on just the beauty and the sustainability and the duration of metal roofs and what we can offer you and what we can offer the customer. Metal roofing is one of the fastest growing segments of the roofing industry. I have a stat that it was $3.3 billion and growing at an average of 7 to 10% a year. Yes, it may look intimidating when you look at it from the outside, but I'm here to demystify it and to make it a much more palatable product and get you excited about it.
Chris definitely is very passionate about it. That's one thing that I didn't think about, but I guess subconsciously when we were talking about this a few days ago, that's what led me to say, oh, holy crap, I really like the energy that he brings to this. So I'm grateful that he's sharing this with me today.
So one beautiful thing about metal roofing is, yeah, you do need to have somebody hold your hand through the whole process from the beginning to the end, from the planning to the execution, having the product installed, and that's what we're here for at Northwest Roof Tile and Metal. We try to simplify it in such a way where the roofer really doesn't have to do anything. We want to be every roofer's metal company, whether it's metal trim or the panels. We want to be that supplier. We don't care who comes in through our door, and we want the roof store partnering up with them is a very important component of that.
Through Northwest Roof Tile, what we do is we source it from them. They're offering turnkey services through us, right? Because the roofing contractors, they're not going to go to them directly, but through us, we're going to lend their expertise, and the roofing contractor basically brokering the deal.
Correct. One exciting thing about metal roofing is an average roof is about $50,000, and so you add $50,000 one sale per month. That's $600,000 added to your bottom line over the course of a year. Add 2 sales, which is not totally unreasonable. I mean, you're looking at $1.2 million per salesman to install metal roofs, and that's going to affect every roofing company out there.
Among a few of the other things that he's been doing for us this last week, there was one specific thing that he quoted us on, and I submitted that proposal already to that client through that roofing contractor. This was a commercial job. They have cloth awnings. The opportunity there was the roofing contractor was able to sell that job to make the conversion from cloth awnings to then metal roof type finish. When he means opportunity, it's not just from existing structure. It's metal roofs going on residential. It's metal roofs going on multifamilies. It's metal roofs that weren't on those commercial buildings before, but now they will be because of your selling skills as a roofing contractor. You've already conquered and doing great with asphalt shingles. Now, because of this video, Chris has then demystified it in such a way that it now becomes part of your arsenal and part of your product line that you're going to offer your clients, and therefore you're going to raise your revenues exponentially.
Let's talk about what that process looks like. You went to the client and you offered a good, better, and best. So you do offer your shingles, but you also offer a better and a best where it includes a standing seam metal roof. And when I say standing seam, I'm talking about a metal roof. It has ribs and it has a pan, and it's just a constant rib pan system that you see, and there's no exposed fasteners. All the screws are underneath, so there's no way for this roof to leak. You would come to Hyro at the roof store with a set of plans, and if the owner wanted to go with a metal roof, he would give it to me, and I would do a takeoff. Now, a takeoff for a metal roof is much more involved because every piece of this roof has a metal piece to correspond with it.
He also means something as simple as an eagle view.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah,
We want to clarify
please,
that.
guys, don't think that it has to be blueprints. And no, it's going to be just an eagle view, a 3D aerial report.
Yes, with the eagle view or with the set of plans, I will do a takeoff, and every bit of this roof, the head walls, the side walls, the ridge, the valleys, the eaves, the rakes, everything requires a metal piece. Then I submit the proposal to you, and you give it to the homeowner, and then we also, since we're just a metal manufacturer, we will give a list of names of labor-only installers that we trust. And so, because you don't want somebody that has just done shingles jump into installing metal roofs. It is a very specialized, it's a very intricate, meticulous installation that you really need to know what you're doing. And so we will give the names for that labor-only installers, and then the roofer, you pretty much stand back and watch the creation of a beautiful product you are benefiting from financially.
How does it work with the metal roof panels where you guys are manufacturing them? Who gives the warranty, or how is the warranty obtained?
The main issue with metal roofs is the coloring. The metal that we use is called Kynar. It's a very, very expensive coating material that colors these panels, and I believe it's up to about 40 years. You will not really notice any degradation of these panels. I have some slides in the presentation I have. They had put some metal panels on it, then 10 to 15 years later, they did an add-on, and they put the same color panels, and you could not tell where the original building was and the new building where it started, because it was the color was still the same. The Kynar warranties are very generous. Go for the Kynar finish because there are other finishes in the industry. One is called SMP, which stands for siliconized polymer, and that will fade. And you will notice after 10 years, even though everything's fading, you will notice that the colors have degraded. We use a very expensive roll former that makes these panels. It's called a Schlebach machine, and it's German made. Most of our panels are TDI approved, so they can be installed near the coastal areas. You can be assured that it's going to be a very outstanding product.
Yeah.
And we also form it on site. We will go to the job site and we will form the panels on site. So if there's long panels that are over 30, 40 feet, you don't have to pay the exorbitant costs to ship it.
Roofing contractors love that. In order for it to be TI approved, the level of scrutiny that installation goes through, you don't want just anybody doing it. It's going to be an absolute perfect job. How does the resistance to algae and mold work with Kynar finish?
Kynar. Well, there's nothing organic in it. You don't have any type of lime or any type of organic compounds that become a food source for your algae and your mold and stuff. And so I would say it's very resistant to any type of growth like that. The S&P finish, they say it's good for 20, 30 years, but what they're saying is there's going to be at least a little bit of paint left on it. There's not the fading resistance that Kynar is bringing to the table. When you sell a metal roof, it can serve as the silent salesman in your neighborhood. Other people are going to see it and they're going to want what you have. In fact, if there was like a big hail claim and you went around, there's a story I know of a roofer that went around and sold a bunch of roofs, but then one owner wanted a metal roof, so he installed a metal roof on their house, and other customers were very upset after that was done because they were never offered a metal roof, because they probably would have gone with the metal roof. Always offer a good, better, and best, and always make a forever roof, a metal roof, part of your proposal, for every proposal, because you never know.
You are upgrading because it's going to serve the client the best. When the motivation for an upgrade just becomes the selfish motivation of trying to make more money, upgrades never work, and your success rate and conversion rate will drop very low. The intention, the motivation should always be to help people because they're going to appreciate it. And don't ever looking at it from the point of oh no, that these people can't afford it. That's not true. When people want something, they will find a way to dig under the mattress or finance it. They will find a way.
Yes, we sell things by the square, and then we also sell the trim by 10-foot sections. We put all of that together for you. We want to hold your hand through every step, and we will educate you as much as you need to know because we want you to be an educator instead of just an estimator. You will be able to sell this a lot more effectively. You're giving your customer the absolute best product. Our most popular panel type, this is called the FF150. The FF stands for fixed flange, and the 150 stands for 1.5 inch rib height. And when I say fixed flange, that means it has a nail strip built into it. And what that prevents is it prevents you from having to buy additional clips to clip the panel to. This is our best seller, and it's also the fastest one to install because it has the built-in nail strip. We also sell an FF100, which means it's a fixed flange and it's a 1-inch rib. But having 1.5 inch rib, it looks a lot more distinguished and it stands out and it just looks a lot better. LT, which is a snap lock panel, and this is what it looks like. This is an LT 175, so it has a 1.75 inch rib, and each subsequent panel snaps to it, and there's clips that will get squeezed in between these connections, and they will. So you have to have clips for this, but it's a very good panel. Once you snap it together, it's almost impossible to unhook it. And these are good for low pitch situations. So if you have a porch that has usually about a 2 to 3/12 pitch, the LT, the snap lock with a 1.75 rib is a good choice. The last style of panel that we make, it's called the mechanical lock, the ML, and this looks like an ML 150. And what this does is you have clips, so this requires clips also. Each subsequent panel, the seams lie inside of each other, and then you have to use a mechanical seamer that bends the seam so that it creases it together and mechanically locks the panel together. And you have a single lock or you have a double lock where it seams it again and makes it impossible for it to leak and impossible for it to come apart. And we have a mechanical lock 1.5 inch, and we have a mechanical lock 2 inch. And the 2 inch is very, very strong panel. And so that's kind of our offering. So we have fixed flange with the FF series. We have the LT series, which are snap locks that require the clips. And then we have the mechanical lock, which require both a mechanical seamer and clips.
And what's the lowest pitch that you would put the ML on?
Oh, the mechanical lock, it could be a flat surface.
Wow.
It is very good for low pitch surfaces also. Okay, what I have here is the installation of the drip edge with a rake and the metal roof. And so I'll put it at what the pitch would be. And so why you don't leave metal installation to novices is they have to estimate the additional length of these panels because you have to hem it. You have to hem it at the end so that it will lock into the drip edge or the eave. And then also you hem it on the side. If you're going up a rake on a gable, you need to estimate additional length so it can lock together. So basically the whole roof locks together based with hems. Before we buy the coil to run the panels and we buy the flat sheets to run the sheets, we require your installer, which is hopefully one of the ones that we have listed on our quotes, we require them to go to the job site and to physically measure the house and they come up with something called a cut list, and they come up with a trim list. The cut list is every panel listed. So 5 panels at 16 foot 2 inches and 3 panels at 12 foot 9 inches. And it's a whole list of all the panels. And then the trim work, they draw out the trim. And so we know exactly what we're going to make, and we know the quantities down to the T. And that's what we run the panels off of. So there's no guesswork. Once we have the trim list, then the estimate is rock solid, and that's how we finalize the bid. But yes, somebody does need to put a tape onto the roof. We cannot finalize a bid based on a plan or an eagle view. Somebody has to be there physically. In my limited experience, I have found out that giving somebody a per square cost for a roof you're going to fall miserably short. Yeah, you can have gable house that has a ridge, and then it has the 2 gable ends, and then the eave. And that's as simple as it gets, and that would be the least expensive. Anytime you add a hip into it, then you add the hips. And then if you have any type of wings on the house, then that's when you add the valleys. If the roof hits a wall, then you have the head wall. If it's going down a dormer, you have side wall. So there's just added complexity. And so being able to just say, give you a ratio, it's really, I'm having a difficult time trying to calculate that in my head. By offering a metal roof, you are differentiating yourself. You are going above and beyond being a shingle slinger, and you are venturing into a world that a lot of roofers are too intimidated to get into. That's why we exist, is because we want to be your metal shop, whether it's chimney caps, the sidewall, step pieces, if you have copper, if you're doing a slate roof and you want to do copper. And these are things that you can offer your customer that you have never been able to offer your customer before.
Sell yourself to that customer. They're going to have the confidence because you're confident in the support that we're going to provide you with this turnkey system.
An eagle view can be turned around in probably 30 minutes. An actual plan that I have to do the takeoff and do all the estimating, that's going to be a few hours. But I want to let y'all know that, with the roof store, with them receiving a plan, we can turn around, I would say for the most part, the same day and get you a quote that you can be very confident in. And so you're not going to keep your customer waiting for this very complex bid. You can turn it around very quickly, and I think that that's an excellent service.
On our website, theroof.store, you're going to have the ability to upload your 3D aerial report, your eagle view, upload it, put your information on there. I can call you, email you, contact you, so that we can begin this process. They're going to get that metal roof, whether it's from you or from your competitor. By being a valuable resource to your roofing organization, we're providing our resources to you through us so that you can have a more diverse product line and be more to those people. So if you want to make more money, you have to be more, you have to offer more, and you have to work on the relationship so that price becomes less of an issue.
Yes.
Please tell them about the striation, because this is something important. That when he told me this, I said, wow, make sure that anybody that's getting new to metal roofing, that they learn about this, because whether it's striated or non-striated, that's a big deal on how happy that customer is going to be.
Striation is when a normal panel is created, it's smooth, and what risk you have with a smooth pan is during the cutting of the coil. So a master coil is 48 inches wide, and they cut that usually into a 21-inch width or a 20-inch width or a 16-inch width. But when they cut it, there is mechanical resistance, there's maybe some warping that can occur, and then when that coil is fed through the machine, there's all these rollers that are manipulating and bending the metal, and so there's just an opportunity where there can be some warping or just some imperfections in the pan. And what that is called is oil canning. And so when you look at a smooth panel from the ground and the light is shining on it, you are going to see imperfections on the way that it's reading that light. And it looks kind of crumpled in some places. And that is oil canning. And sometimes you can get away with not having very much, but it's not anything that you can really prevent. Now, one nice thing is that we offer striations. Now, all striations is once the panel is formed, at the very end, we have rollers that put a crease in the pan. And what that does is it doesn't prevent the oil canning, but what it does do is it gives a uniform look to the pan that reads the light uniformly, and so you're not seeing the crumpled look. And so it makes it much more desirable, and it makes it much more aesthetically pleasing. While the oil canning can look smooth like in the morning, and when the sun gets to the highest point and the way it shines, then you'll see the crumpling. And so a non-striated roof will look different throughout the day. And we even go as far as having the customer sign a striation waiver if they want to go with a smooth panel, a smooth pan, because we have learned that most of the time when a customer demands a smooth pan, they have to sign off on it because we make it so they cannot reject that panel based on the oil canning, and we try to educate them as much as possible before so they know what they're getting themselves into. But yes, striation makes all the difference in the world, and it just makes for a more uniform reading of the light. And yeah, if it's something that you're going to be looking at for the next 30 years, you want it to be pleasing to your eye all the time, no matter where the sun is in the sky.
Thank you, Chris. You have provided a wealth of information. I feel that he has demystified the idea of metal roofing. He's removed the veil of mystery from metal roofing, and let us know how we can help you. We want to be a valuable resource to your roofing organization. Let us know how we can continue to help.